Beanie Ball Talk. Hey guys, welcome back to Beanie Ball Talk. We are in the conference championship weekend of the NFL. We're going to recap the divisional round. We are without Zach today, so it's just the trio. We are going to just dive right into our recap. We're going to start with the first game, Saturday. The Chiefs beat the Texans 23-14, and all anyone can bitch about is the refs giving the game to the Chiefs. But it's crazy because I don't remember the refs getting 8 sacks against CJ Stroud. I don't remember seeing that at all. The Chiefs defense was absolutely dominant in this game. Bend don't break. The Texans had a lot of yards. There's a lot of stats out there about the yards, but overall, Chiefs defense stood on their head, and Pat did enough. And Kelsey had a vintage game, just like we all kind of predicted. But Chiefs move on. The Arrowhead Invitational, 7 years in a row, making the AFC Championship. It's unheard of. So we all saw this coming. So I think we're just getting ready for the big one this week. What are your guys' thoughts from this game?
Defense looked good. The defensive backs kept Nico Collins in check. D-line was killing it. The middle of the field was wide open, though. The linebackers need to tighten up. Offense looked pretty good. A couple missed opportunities. I mean, people were pissed about the one call. They're like, they hit each other's helmets. It's like, well, they definitely hit him, too. I mean, yeah, it was kind of weak. I wouldn't expect to get any of those calls this week. You let the boys play, but regardless, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. If people think that would have changed the outcome, they're fools.
I agree. I agree 100%. Everyone's just bitching to bitch because we're the big bad Chiefs and everyone's sick of seeing them win, which I get. Like, any team that is just dominant in any sport has a ton of haters that are just truly, when you boil it down, they're just sick of seeing them win, which I understand. Because, like, other sports, I feel that way about some. Like, I have no ill will towards the Golden Knights, but I'm sick of them winning. You know what I mean? Like, there's just teams like that. And I just think it's this fatigue of the Chiefs. So
I've had no doubts with this Chiefs team literally from the start of the year. Anytime anything looked wrong, like this is a brand new season and our defense looked fucking elite. Our offense, I think, was just a little bit rusty to start the game. They hadn't played in 20 days. So, I mean,
yeah,
it did suck. I think we got the ball on like the 13-yard line to start the game. It
mm-hmm.
didn't score, didn't even move a yard.
three and out. Yeah, so
Yeah. So like
that
I
was
just think
huge.
shaking off a little rust. The Texans defense was good for the most part. Their D line was great. I think I had a pretty good read on the Texans this year. Like I didn't really even think they'd make the playoffs, and I don't think they would have had they been in another division. But I saw a good amount of like positive shit out of Stroud this year too. Where I think next year they're gonna bounce back. That this was just a down sophomore year, harder schedule. Everyone had tape, and I think the Texans are gonna be a good team next year too.
Yeah, at the end of the day, their O line allowed 8 sacks. You can't
Hmm.
blame that. CJ looked really good in this game. You can't blame him for this loss at all. They're props to the Texans D. The Texans D was very good. If not for the Eagles, I would say if you take the Eagles out of the conversation, I think you could say the Texans are the best defensive team that were in these playoffs. Um, their corners were elite. So like the only way we were moving the ball was with Kelsey up the middle. We found their weakness and we exposed it. That's what the Chiefs do. Every week is different. Different stars shine on different weeks, and this was Kelsey's week, and it was awesome to see because Mahomes and Kelsey never gets old if you're a Chiefs fan. Yeah, so classic beginning of the championship DVD. So, what up, Zenas? Thoughts on the Chiefs? Thoughts on the Chiefs Texans, real quick.
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I think that there was I think it was solid. I think we won the game, and that's all that matters. And obviously, this upcoming week is going to be the big week. But like, I'm sure you guys already hit on this, but like, I'm sick of the hate on the Chiefs. Like, I'm sick of it. Stop comparing us like with the Patriots. They're literally a scam. They literally cheated and they were caught. Like, Mahomes is different than Brady. He's going to go down as the best QB of all time. That's what I
Dude,
think.
that's actually a really good point that I don't think about often enough. Is like there's no scandals of cheating behind the
That's
Chiefs.
what pisses me off when they compare us to the Patriots. Like you just said that perfectly, Zach. Because everyone's like, oh, they're just like the Patriots. It's so funny how quickly we forget that there was scandal after scandal with that team. This team is spick and span. The worst thing you can say is Rashee Rice hit and run. That's it.
He's innocent.
And yeah, and he didn't even play this season. Basically, whatever.
Tyreek beat up a couple people, including I think
And
his
he's
own
gone. He's
family.
gone.
But like,
And look,
yeah,
we brought Kareem back for redemption. Okay, he he
everyone
he
deserves a
served.
second chance.
Yes. How could you not root for this Chiefs team? Honestly. All right, next game, the one I've been wanting to talk about. The Commanders shocked the nation and beat the Lions 45-31. This was a track meet, by far the most entertaining game. This was so much fun. I loved this game. It was just score after score after score. The Lions looked good, like offensively, but at the end of the day, turnovers killed them. Jared Goff showed up in the playoffs. I, I just it needs to be said. I was the lone wolf on the Commanders last week, and I was laughed at on this podcast by every member. So I just wanted to say that never say never with this Commanders team. Jaden Daniels he's got ice in his veins, and he's fucking cold blooded, dude. He is a scary guy. No matter how their season ends at this point, he is a threat in the future. And I said it on Saturday. I think he's already the best quarterback in the NFC because the NFC is so weak at quarterback. It's not very difficult. His competition is he's going to be playing this weekend. So I couldn't say enough about the Commanders. What an incredible season.
Dude, I think Jared Goff definitely got concussed on that pick six, and you don't think he did?
No, he might have, but like you can't use that as an excuse.
I mean, he got fucked up, and then after that, he wasn't the same.
Scott, say something mean about Jared Goff. You deserve to.
No, he had a good year.
He had a great.
He's never gonna win a Super Bowl.
Thank you. And I've said that time and time again.
Isn't it funny though? Like everyone crowned the Lions as Super Bowl champs for like half the year.
It's kind of like what they do to the Bills every offseason.
I mean, dude, along with the Chiefs, they had the best record in football from start to finish. So, I get
But
it.
the difference is the Chiefs know how to win the big game. The Lions have yet to figure out how to do that.
And I mean, you do
We
have to
also play
defend.
defense.
Yeah, you got to defend the Lions a little bit. Like they were banged up all season, and it just when you're playing football, playoff football, that's when it showed, and it caught up to him. Also, props to Dan Quinn. He called a fucking phenomenal game. Maybe not. I know he's a defensive guy, but Cliff Kingsbury, what a comeback for him. He called a perfect game. They went for it on fourth down so many times. Like, it was nut-cutting time, and they were converting. Jaden Daniels really was special in this game, guys. Like, you go back and watch the highlights. He just made it happen. Every time they needed a play, he made the play. And, guys, like, the guys playing like that, no one can really stop him. This week, we'll get to it, but I'm excited for these championship games.
I love that they kept going for it on fourth. It's like, do what you did to get you in this position. Keep going for it on fourth. It's what you've always done. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
What do we think about? I have a major problem with this. First off, you should not be interviewing coordinators till the end of the season. The
Yeah.
Lions just lost their offensive and defensive coordinator like 3 days after the fucking game. Like, are you not focused on the week? Are
Yep.
you doing interviews? What is this?
I
Blame
completely
the NFL.
Both coordinators.
Yeah,
Yeah, blame the NFL.
agree.
They need rules.
I hate that they do interviews like while
Well,
the
as a
playoffs.
coach, sorry, Steve, Kev, like not even just the NFL needs rules. If I'm a coach, you would think that you're focused on your team in the playoffs, not interviewing for a job.
Yeah, but dude, like that's not real life. These are once in a lifetime opportunities to go be a head coach of an NFL franchise. There's only 32 jobs. Like
Guess
you're
what? You
gonna
win this game and you go to the Super Bowl or
That's
something,
not
you're
true
still
though.
going to have job
No,
offers.
Scott, that's not true. You're actually proving your point wrong because they got eliminated, they got hired like that. Because if this would have dragged out to the Super Bowl, they might not have had the opportunities that they had. I think they probably would have, just because they're two of the two biggest names. But the whole system's fucked. It's very simple. No interviews until the Super Bowl is over. It's an easy fix. I don't understand why it's so difficult. And then that also gives all these coaches or all these organizations time to prepare. That way, when you do get guys in, you can quickly be like, all right, this is our guy. You know, you get the full, because they're saying they were allowed to Zoom, but they weren't allowed to be in person. I don't know what that does for you. That does nothing. That rule is basically just nothing. So the NFL is a fucking horrible organization. We all know this. They have a very easy fix, but will they do it? Probably not. It sucks. But you know what? It's kind of funny because, like, usually the good teams have the good coordinators, and the ones that go far in the playoffs are the ones that you want, right? Like the Chiefs. How many years have we been wanting, like, you know, when we wanted Eric Bieniemy to get taken, but he never did because he didn't have an opportunity to interview. Now look at how that turned out. He could have been a head coach at one point, making head coach money, but now he's out of a job.
He had so many interviews. Do you not remember every team saying he just bombs them? Because everyone's like, why is he not getting hired?
Yeah,
Dude, he
well,
had
we know
plenty of
now.
interviews.
We know
Side
now
note,
why.
though, I really want to see Gibbs as a 3-down back because I think he has a chance to be arguably the best running back in the NFL.
Yeah, like I told you the other week and got shit on that Montgomery should split time with him. They're way better
We didn't
like
say
that.
split time. We said you're not better by
No, no,
taking
no,
him
no, no,
out.
no.
Dude, yes
I'm
you
going to
are.
defend my stance, Scott. I'm going to
Because
defend
you're
my
taking
stance.
out the
No,
top running
you are
back.
retarded. You don't listen. You were literally saying, hey, you got a 95 overall player, and then the backup is a 90. Let's just get rid of the backup and have our backup be a fucking 70 overall. That's essentially what you were saying.
Yeah, I want my
That's dumb.
better player to be on the field more.
Depth is important, obviously, but depth is important. That's what we were
Scott,
saying about Montgomery.
the
To not
Lions
want him
were
healthy is dumb.
the Lions were smart with what they did because they just kept Gibbs fresh for his career by starting the first couple seasons half and half. Like, why do you want to run that guy into the ground? Like, he could legit be good for like 8 to 10 years, barring health, because he was saved the first couple seasons of his career. Like, there is something to that.
Thank you, Zach. You know who the next Hall of Fame running back is going to be?
Steven Jackson.
No, like he plays right now. Derrick Henry. And you know what they did with him? Eased him in just like that. DeMarco Murray took a lot of carries that first year, and they eased him in.
Damn, that's a great throwback name.
And now look at how he takes care of his body and how healthy he is. Like,
y'all remember CJ2K? How sick he was for like 2 years on the Titans?
yeah, dude, he was sick.
It was like
2K, man. All right. Anything else on the Lions commies? Just real quick. Lions lose both coordinators. Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets head coach, and what's his butt goes to the Bears. Why is his name escaping me?
Ben Johnson.
Oh,
Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, Bears head coach.
Crazy?
So
Why did Aaron Glenn get a head coaching job? The Lions defense sucked. I know they were injured, but like they weren't even good last year. Like were they a
Dude,
top
the Jets are going to be an abomination again.
the Jets
What a
never learn. Why
terrible
do they
move.
keep getting D coordinators to be their head coach in an offense-driven league? It is why aren't they learning?
I don't hate the hire as much as you guys. I like it just because he was a Jet at one point, so you know he's gonna give a shit. Look at Dan Campbell. He was a Lion and he gave a shit. And he was bad when it started, but now look at where they're at now.
That's a fair point.
I wouldn't be a big Jets hater right now because they are if they do it right, they're gonna start at ground zero. And like Aaron Rodgers gone, all of his little buddies gone. We're starting from ground zero. I think that's what they're gonna do.
That hire tells me that Aaron Rodgers, there's a higher chance he
Gone.
doesn't come back this year. Why would you
Yes,
bring
yeah.
in a D coordinator, former player that Aaron Rodgers could care less about if you cared of his opinion at all?
Why would you fire a really good D coordinator to hire another good D coordinator? Like, You're right, Zach. It's very telling. Like Aaron Rodgers will never be a Jet quarterback again, is what that tells me. Which is interesting because, like, does someone want him? I wouldn't. All right, next game. Rams lose to the Eagles 28-22 in a game that didn't need to be this close at the end, but it was. The epic play from this was Saquon had a huge, I think, like an 80-yard touchdown run or 75 maybe.
Multiple.
Yeah, and he just Saquon, he taps his helmet like he's living his best life, man. In the snow, this was an epic finish. Game started and it was clean, like no precipitation, and then it just became a snow globe. This was a really fun game to watch on TV. Them boys in LA couldn't really handle the snow at the end of the day because Stafford was making mistakes left and right. I think the snow really got to them and was the 12th man on the field for the Eagles. Eagles defense also is fucking nasty. They allowed 22 points, but man, what's his name?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
He's a
Holy
freak.
shit. He is. The fact that he fell in that draft as far as he did, man, it's just nuts. All because he likes to drive a little bit.
That city would have burnt to the ground if the Rams came back at the end. We
Yeah,
were
you're right.
close, dude.
They were right there. They
15
were on the
yards
goal.
away until Stafford took that sack.
Yeah. And that's what scares me about the Eagles. I mean, we'll get into that. But yeah, dude, it was a good game though. Fuck the Rams, obviously, but they had a way better season than anyone expected. And I think that's credit to Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford mainly.
Yeah, I don't have much on this game just because, like, obviously when the snow comes, it gets a little sloppy. I mean, Saquon's a dog, man. Like I don't know if you guys saw it, but the stats for the Rams, 2 games against them, 530, I think, rushing yards in 2 games and 4 touchdowns or 5. It was wild, dude.
It
Like
was
that
the
is the
most.
most obscene stat.
It was the most yards in history against two teams in one season. Like the same team playing them twice in one season.
That's nuts.
think of
That's
all. Think of all
I
the
think
teams.
all the divisional games, yeah.
Yeah, think of all the division. I mean, Derrick Henry running on his division, but
Yeah, the
Saquon.
Houston Texans.
Yeah, dude. I mean, pretty impressive, dude. Saquon is him.
Yeah,
Death taxes and Derrick Henry putting 100 on the Jags was like automatic.
all right. We'll move on to the last game. This was an awesome game, a classic. You had the two MVP favorites. The Bills end up beating the Ravens 27-25 in a close one. At the end of the day, Lamar just continues to not be clutch in the playoffs. He had 2 costly turnovers, but they did have a chance to tie this one up at the end of the game, and Mark Andrews just had a game from hell. You got to feel bad for Mark Andrews. He's an all-pro. Like, this guy's not a scrub. He's had plenty of great seasons in the NFL. This just was, like I said, the game from hell. He had a fumble in the fourth quarter that kind of sealed the game, but almost didn't. And then when he had a chance to redeem himself, he drops the 2-point conversion to tie it up. But you know what? I'm kind of in the boat of there was like a minute something left.
Yes.
Like
Josh Allen was winning that game.
Josh Allen was winning that game. He's marching down. It's kind of the same thing with like the Bills and the Chiefs last year. Everyone's like, "Oh, you won off a missed kick." It's like we had plenty of time. Mahomes is getting Butker in range, and we're winning that game anyways. So I think like if you're a Ravens fan trying to cope with that, please, I don't want to hear it. Anyways, I think personally, you guys can tell me if you think differently, but this was truly just Lamar. Being Lamar in the playoffs. When you game plan for Lamar, you can stop him, and that's what the Bills did. Bills, like, their defense isn't elite by any means, but they did enough. They created those turnovers, and that is what won this game.
If you sell out to stop the run and force Lamar to throw, you beat the Ravens. It's what the Chiefs always do. I mean, the Bills did it perfectly. He had a horrible interception and he had a terrible fumble. You can't have that in the playoffs, man. It's just the Lamar defenders were very quiet on Monday, and rightfully so. But also, to your point, Kev, that's all I could think about is when he dropped that ball. I was like, damn, he stole Josh Allen's MVP moment. He was going to march down and score.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but like, dude, like Lamar put the ball on the ground. You can't do that in a playoff game. You just can't. And he did it in a way that like was completely avoidable, you know? And then he
Just
throws
take the
his pick.
stats.
His interception was so bad. It was like a duck to nobody. So like those are mistakes that you simply just cannot make. One of those mistakes could cost you the game, and he made two of them. And people are like, "Oh, they were early in the game." No, 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 no. In a playoff game, it all fucking matters. Every inch matters. And my hate for Lamar has dissipated over the years, and it's because he can't win these games. I feel bad at this point. But yeah, Josh Allen, credit to Josh Allen. The Bills did enough to win. His stats weren't great, but he doesn't give a fuck about stats. He looked good. He took care of the ball, and yeah, props to the Bills. They'll be in the chip. So, you guys ready to talk preview? All right.
Yeah.
The first game, NFC Championship. The Hallis Trophy is up for grabs between two divisional rivals. We got the Commies going to Philly. What's the spread here, Steve?
All right, hang tight. I came a little unprepared. It's loading now.
So
I got it. All right. So Eagles minus 6.5, over under 47.5. Eagles minus 6.5, over under 47.5. You know what?
okay,
Time out. This is kind of funny. Both games, the over under is 47.5. That's crazy.
okay. So I hinted at it. I'm sure you already know. I'm rolling with the Commies. I think Jaden Daniels is playing MVP football. Right now he's the best player in the NFC. He just looks unstoppable. They have all momentum. They have this us against the world, nothing to lose mentality, and that's dangerous as fuck. If they keep doing the fourth down stuff and getting it, like you just can't defend that. Counterpoint: the Eagles' defense is probably the best defense that's been in the playoffs. So when those two meet, that's where the game is going to be won and lost. Also, I just did not like the way Jalen Hurts looked. I think if the game comes down to Jalen Hurts having the ball in his hands, I don't trust him. Saquon is going to have another ridiculous game if they want to win, if you're the Eagles. That's my opinion. Would love to hear what you guys think, because I'm really confident in the Commies.
I like Philly to win, but Washington to cover.
I got Washington to cover, and I think Philly wins a really close one. Wouldn't be shocked if Washington wins. I'm rooting for them. That'd be awesome. I think Philly will do just enough. I think the recipe for the Commies would probably be sell out to stop the run, force Jalen to throw, and just play man coverage, and just hope that your guys don't get beat too bad, and just bend, don't break.
100%. That's the game plan.
Their kicker sucks too. You
Yeah, dude,
force them
Jake
to.
Elliott.
Both kickers are not great in this game, so I think we're going to be seeing a shit ton of fourth downs, like going for it.
I'm going against the grain on you guys. I'm going with Philly to cover. At first, when I heard that line, I was like, probably the Commies cover, Philly win. But I started thinking about it. The Commanders' defense is garbage. Like, there's nothing special. Saquon might go for 200, and Jalen might go for 100 with his legs alone. Jalen Hurts that's what you guys aren't remembering. Jalen Hurts was an elite player on Sunday with his legs. That first touchdown proved it. And then you add Saquon. They may not. You sell the run, that's fine. Then you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith one-on-one. Like, I just think this is where Philly is different. They have key matchups in every spot where if you sell somewhere, the other guy's going to fuck you over. And I don't know if Jalen's going to be able to keep up. So I'm going to take Philly, and I think this might get away from him.
His leg got hurt though, and he stopped running after that. We don't know how
Yeah,
severe he is.
You're right. You're right. And we don't know anything different, but like I just think Jalen's gonna show up to get back to the Super Bowl.
my biggest thing is I do think Jalen's more hurt than we're led on to believe. Just all season he's been dealing with being banged up. Like you could tell, like in that second half, like yeah, he had that big first run and that was epic, great run. But in the second half, there was one point where he like broke out, like had open space and was running in the open field, and he looked so much slower than that first run, and it was like something's not like he is banged up. He's been taking a beating this year. But it is championship football, so he's got heart and he's going to give it everything he's got. I'm just riding the hot hand. Jaden Daniels has been so fucking impressive, man. And
How much stock do you have in that stat that you've been talking about the past couple weeks?
Yes, that's another thing. If Jalen Hurts wins this game, he will be the first quarterback to ever lose his first Super Bowl appearance and return. That's nuts. That is a stat, and that's another reason why I love the commies.
Yeah, but also, Kev, the only thing too is like the Commanders have not sniffed playoffs. Nobody on their roster knows what that feels like. The Eagles were just here a short while ago. Most of their roster felt that. Like, I think when you get down to those types of games, like, experience matters at the end.
But
I
it's
think the
also
Eagles
a
just have to
divisional
lean on
game.
Saquon.
It's
Yeah,
also
and
all bets are off in a divisional game,
that
dude.
too. So I wanted an interesting stat. I saw a graphic, but just the last time a divisional matchup took place in the championship game, it was the Niners and the Rams a few years ago. We all remember how that ended. Niners totally choked. That guy had the pick to end the game, but dropped it, and then the Rams ended up winning, going to the Super Bowl. And then before that, though, it was like 20 years or something like that.
That was our sad drive home from Arrowhead after the Chiefs
I
lost
don't.
to the
Yeah,
Bengals.
we don't. Yeah,
Dude,
mm,
I was devastated.
don't want to relive that ever again.
I was sick for you guys.
Kev rips a cigarette right in the Jeep. Mario, can I get one of those?
I was just like,
Those were bad
"Ooh,
vibes,
I
man.
fall apart."
The McDonald's hit though.
We did get trippies.
We had sad McDonald's.
Damn.
Sad McDonald's hits, Loki. It's like I feel like a piece of shit. I'm just gonna eat like one now. All right. And now, are any other things on Commies Eagles? Big game, boys. It's to go to the ship, to go to the Super Bowl. All right. The next game, the biggest game of the year up until now. The Bills go to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs after beating them in the regular season, giving the Chiefs their one only true loss in the regular season, other than their Week 18 benching of the players. There's so much at stake in this game. What's the spread right now, Steve?
Chiefs minus 1.5.
So
Steve, cue the sweep.
Yeah. Before we
That's a Benny sweep.
Yeah. Watch what if Scott was like, Bills. Anyways, so we all know we're all picking the Chiefs. But there's a reason, and it's because history likes to repeat itself, okay? But I just, like, who do you think has more pressure in this game?
Josh.
Pat
has 3 Super Bowl championships, dude. They're going for like the all-time legacy, but they're still the reigning champs. Like they won last year. If Josh doesn't win now, will he ever? Like
I don't think it's like a throwaway question though. Like think about it. Like that's a lot on your shoulders. You have history in front of you that you could be making.
Yeah.
Like
the three-peat makes the pressure crazy.
I heard this stat listening to another podcast. No team that has gone back-to-back Super Bowls has ever gotten back to the Super Bowl. They've all made it to the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, but they lose in this game.
Why would you tell us that?
I'm just saying, because it's a stat.
Kev, no, there were some didn't even make playoffs. Some lost in the
division. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but the furthest any back-to-back has ever gotten is this game. So there's that stat that exists. That's pressure. So but you got to break history to make this all happen anyways. I'm just saying that's they're already making history if they win this game is what I'm kind of saying. But yeah, I mean these
no
are the
one
two
gives
best
a
teams.
fuck about that stat. Win the Super Bowl.
I know, but these are the two best teams in the AFC. They have been all season. Baltimore was always frauds. The fact that they were favorites against the Bills is crazy to me. Like Bills being home dogs in that game was free money. It's now we can say that in hindsight. But dude, I mean, I think this is going to be a classic war. I think it's like what you said. The over is 47. Steve?
And a half, yeah.
47.5. I think under barely hits. Like I think this is going to be a 23-20 type of game. This is going to be back and forth. Both defenses making plays, both offenses making ridiculous plays. This is going to be a fucking heavyweight knockout drag out fight.
Here's what I want from the game. All I ask, and it's very, very easy to do, you think. Do you like Buffalo's wide receivers overall?
No.
Like, are
I
you
think
threatened at
Shakir.
all?
I think Shakir is really good. Amari might have some capability left,
So
but
I trust Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson enough to where I don't fucking care if we let Josh Allen take deep shots. Our guys are fine. I'm putting Nick Bolton right in the middle, and I'm saying your whole job is to follow Josh Allen. And I'm
no.
bringing a safety in the box too, because I don't care if Josh wants to beat us deep. You have to stop him from running the ball. If
Can
they
I? Can
get
I?
to 3rd and 5, they are going for it on 4th down and they are converting. You have
Spoiler
to
alert!
stop them early.
Spoiler alert! Leo Chenal is his spy. That's already been. That's
He's better
out.
in coverage though, man.
Oh, no. First of all, you brought up Nick Bolton, not me.
Yeah.
That dude is either gonna make a bag in this game or he's gone. That it's plain and simple. If you can't, last week when he couldn't fucking catch C.J. Stroud, you think Josh Allen is slower than C.J. Stroud?
Kev,
No, he's not.
Nick Bolton always shows up in crunch time.
I
Remember, I
know.
said
I know. I'm just saying this game is where he makes his money or not. I'm telling you right now because if you cannot be a Mike linebacker in the NFL and fucking chase down any quarterback other than Lamar or Jaden, like get fucked, buddy. Okay?
Kev,
I,
there might be a fair amount of middle linebackers that couldn't catch Josh Allen. Outside, no. But like there are probably some middle linebackers that couldn't catch Josh Allen.
yeah, like
There might even be
old
some
ass Bobby
DBs that can't
Wagner.
catch Josh Allen. He's fast as shit, dude.
I just, dude,
Well, if
He's
he's
you
trying.
got
throw him
to
out
he's
there, but if you
got to
put him
show
out
up.
there with the full intention of don't even fucking worry about covering a tight end in the middle, you follow Josh Allen, then there's no reason that he should be able to outrun Nick Bolton. If your
Steve said
sole
it.
job
Nick Bolton
is
shows
to
up.
mirror Josh
I
Allen.
know, but Nick Bolton shows up every big game
Oh,
with
I know.
big plays. I'm going to trust him to do the same thing again until he proves me otherwise.
I think where we need Nick is in the run. I think the key to the game for the Bills is James Cook. If James Cook has success and has a good game, that's their recipe for success to win. If James Cook gets going, that can really hurt us because then it's like they've got him and Josh to worry about. So
Dude,
that's where I expect Nick to
what do you
take care
think
of
about the
business in the
offense?
fucking run game. What?
I
What do you
think
think about?
Buffalo's. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Well, what do you think about the offense? Like, what does our offense need to do? What's the recipe there? Who's going to shine?
Protect Pat. Give him time.
Who you like
I
to
Yeah.
set?
think Buffalo has the most predictable offense in the NFL, too. It's literally dump pass to James Cook, 10-yard crossing routes to Shakir and Coleman, and Josh Allen quarterback draw. That is all they do.
You're not wrong.
Dude,
No,
I
Let
want to
them
you're
throw
see
the
not
ball
wrong.
deep,
Kev
stuff the box.
in the spirit of protecting Pat. I want to see us do a lot of two tight end sets and like chip off of the line. Both Kelsey and Gray hitting their D ends back before we even do anything, giving Pat like an extra 1 or 2 seconds. Like that's what we need to do.
And this is what's interesting about this game. So last week we attacked the middle of the field because the Texans linebackers were bad and like their safeties were hurt and they were the middle of the field was banged up, but they had like elite corners. This game, I think our receivers have to show out, especially because they didn't do shit last week. Um, their secondary is their weakness on defense. Their front eight, their front seven, really good. So if they give Pat time, we need our receivers to shine because, dude, if we can't cook DeMar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp, we don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl. It's that simple.
I think they're going to go nuts covering Kelsey, so it's time for playoff DeAndre. You want your ring, you go get it, DeAndre.
Also, guess which receiver led the team in snaps?
X.
X. X is our number one right now, boys.
Yeah, and he needs to be. DeAndre's snaps have gone down every game in the last like 4 games he's played in. He's played in the least amount of snaps last week than he has than his first week with the Chiefs. I saw that
Yeah,
stat.
Also,
That's not a
but
good sign.
Zach, it's just I think it's the game plan. Each game plan they it changes. Everybody can get it with the Chiefs.
Scott, your biggest pet peeve about Mahomes the last few years has been he hasn't been able to throw the deep ball for shit. he in the last couple games has been throwing dimes. We just haven't had guys really haul him in. Hollywood should have grabbed that one last week against the Texans. If that's those are the types of plays we need to make in this game.
My other knock on because they have been close, but there's been a couple deep balls that he's thrown lately where we're getting a pass interference call. It's like, why the fuck do we not just do that?
Yeah,
That's what I think, guys. I think X is going to have a huge game, and it's going to be the game that everyone goes, how did the Bills let the Chiefs get this guy? And it's just going to be a poetic thing. I think X is going deep, and I think Hollywood's going deep. If they just give Pat time, that is the key to the offense.
We need a few calls to go our way too.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. The chirping is going to be whenever the boys are over for the game, I don't get on Twitter because it's a cesspool. I wait till after the games. You're gonna see it all game, no matter what.
Are you
I
going to be
do
live
think
tweeting, Kev?
What?
Live tweeting the
No,
game?
I will not be live tweeting
I
or
do
live
think the
streaming.
refs are going to let the boys play this week, though.
I agree.
I hope. That's how I want it every week, baby. Because guess what? I'll take the back-to-back champs with letting the boys play.
I hope Jawan Taylor doesn't get some dumbass penalty.
It's going to happen. To a game. Just
It
hope
is
they get out of the
guaranteed.
way early.
It is guaranteed every game. Yeah, I agree. Just get it over with. Just
Get
do
two
it
on the
early.
first two plays of the game and then take a deep shot.
That's what happened against Baltimore, dude. Remember that fucking game was insane. The flags in that game were just ridiculous. Which I also heard a stat. We have Cleet Blakeman calling the game, and he leads the league in flags. It's like, God dang it.
Great.
How do they pick that guy to call this big of a game? Is how I'll never, because they
Who's
always
the
say
big black
the
dude?
best
He's
refs
good.
get picked for the big games. How the fuck did the guy that called the most penalties get picked for this game?
Who's the big black dude, the referee? He's good.
Tolbert. He's calling the
Yes.
Super Bowl. He's calling the
he
Super
is?
Bowl. Yep. Don't ask me how I know all this.
Twitter.
Yeah.
X.
All right, boys. So it looks like as Chiefs fans, who would you want to see in the Super Bowl, Eagles or Commanders?
Commanders, for sure.
Yeah, commies for sure.
Guys, I'm this close to having the right pick for the Super Bowl matchup from day one. Obviously, it has to be Eagles-Chiefs.
Yeah,
But we don't want that.
Eagles scare me way more, dude, and they'll want the revenge. Like
Yeah.
The dynasty started beating the Eagles. They're gonna want to. But also, if we beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, watching the Philly scumbags be upset would make me really happy. But the stress of that game, I don't want.
Steve, if we beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, that would be Niners, Eagles, Niners, Eagles. Would that mean we're in a simulation?
Shut up, dude.
I don't know. I'd be expecting another pandemic right around the corner.
Yeah, no, what it's going to mark
True.
is the great reset and the entrance of the golden age. Shout out DT. 45-47. Should I pull an Elon?
No, don't.
Reach for Mars?
Dude, he's fucking autistic. Like,
Oh,
All right. But you aren't, and you just did it.
It was an act. I need to turn this into like a GIF and save it forever.
Bro, we're gonna get banned.
He's giving his heart out. All right, my hot take before we go. I have a hot take. Maybe it's a hot take. I want to know what you guys think because I genuinely believe this. I don't think Haley Steinfeld is very attractive.
oh, you're an idiot. You're fucking retarded.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Kev, that's such a dumb take. Like,
Give me Brittany over her every day of the week.
I don't even know who that is.
That's like the least shocking thing ever.
Who the fuck is that?
That's Josh Allen's
Interesting.
fiance.
You don't watch him.
Josh Allen. Oh. Fuck her, dude.
She was in Pitch Perfect 2.
and one.
No, not one.
Bet.
Steve, Kev's pretty gay with musicals, man. I wouldn't bet.
Yeah, you're right. challenge me on a musical, get fucked.
Not a good flex.
I don't give
Not
a
at
shit,
all.
dude. I love musicals. Grease is a fucking all-time movie. The High School Musical trilogy up there with the top trilogies of all time.
How'd you like Hairspray, Kev?
It was great, dude. Efron, Tracy, I'm in love with you. Yeah, dude. Great shit.
Jeez.
Good morning, Baltimore. Oh, wait. Not good morning for Baltimore because they're eliminated. God, dude. I just can't get enough of this. Like, it's crazy how all this Lamar hype just disappeared. Crazy. He was supposed to win it all this year. Remember? Every 12 years, the Ravens win a Super Bowl. Oh, wait. Shit. Steve? Who was right?
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, all right. That's what I thought. Anything else before we go, guys? Bold predictions?
Do you think either of
Any
these could be a
any
blowout?
any prop bets. Sorry, prop bets. Scott, I don't want to upset you when I say this, but last week was not the week to bet the Mahomes over on rushing yards. It's this week. I know. I'm sorry, but he's gonna hit it this week.
Dude, that
I'm
was
hot.
bad.
I'm gonna cook up a touchdown parlay again.
Yeah, yours hit. Tell the
Tell your
pod.
friend. Tell your
Yeah,
friend.
we had a nice little five legger. It was $5 to win 100. So nice little hit. We had Kelsey, Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, um, Saquon, and Jamison Williams.
I
Right?
wish I
Oh
could
no
see
no
the
no! Jamison
future.
Williams was the week before. Or no, he was last week,
It
wasn't he?
was because he
Yeah.
did the hump and you went
Yeah,
nuts.
I went nuts also because I took his over rushing and receiving too, and that hit.
It is a shame they lost that game because that's one of the most absurd celebrations I've ever witnessed.
Dude, I love that his teammates like hurry up and like picked him
They
up.
were like, stop.
Kevin, anyway, a prop bet for sure is taking Saquon's over, even though we know that number is going to be so high. I think he hits
Take
it.
it. I love that. What a chase. That'll feel great. All right. That does it for the pod, boys. Let's be an evil talk.